But ultimately, the reason why that Denver was filled on Wednesday night is because people believe in the product.
Yeah.
The reason why they draw whatever they draw, from the pay-per-view that we saw last from them, Double or Nothing, 9,000 people in Glendale, Arizona, to these unique venues they've been going to. And it's because, again, business is down. That's why they go to 2,000 seat venues, and that's fine. But you don't tell the audience that. The story is, for me as a babyface, I got to get this title off of Jon Moxley because he has a haze over the company or a darkness over the company. And we now need to bring this into light. So I'm going to be the guy, or Swerve's going to be the guy, or Hangman's going to be the guy, but we're going to not turn business around. We're just going to get this cloud away from the company. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, that accomplishes the exact same stuff without then pointing out also like, oh yeah, times are bad right now.
You don't say it. That's all. And so because the AEW fan, and I know there's a lot of diehards, but the ones that are in between and like, oh, they said that they're bad and they suck. Well, I'll go over here because McDonald's sells more hamburgers.
Right. Yeah. And WWE will tell you how much money they're making. It's record night every time they're out there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that we veer off.
A little bit. It's fine.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Give me your thoughts then about the question.
So, biggest reason for the turnaround, because again, I think you mentioned it, from an on-screen standpoint, they've been entertaining. They've been hot these last few months. And to me, the leader of that is Hangman. I think there is such intrigue in Hangman, and everything Hangman touches, he gets you to care as a consumer. You want to see Hangman do well. You're concerned when Hangman's, going through struggles. And now as he's on this path, potentially being world champion again, I think that's where a lot of this renewed hope is right now. Where it's like, all right, this is a good product. I'm excited to watch this every single week.
Yeah, I would agree. You had a choice. You can go with Will Ospreay as the guy, as the champion. And this is what I've been saying for weeks on this show, that I always thought that Ospreay should be the guy.
Yeah.
But Hangman Page turned things around, though, because, again, just a weird audience, man. That guy was burning someone's house down. Swerve Strickland's house down, and with maybe his kids in it. And but yet people are behind him because he's an AEW original. It's an interesting way to go about business, but you can see Hangman as the guy. Now, how long does he have the championship? That's another story.
Sure.
But I could see him at All In Dallas being able to step in there and just change things for AEW, where people can see the championship and you have a champion you can be proud of. This white T-shirt gang that I've seen enough of it. And look, I know that they respect Jon Moxley, but here's the thing: after he loses the championship, is the company better just because there's a new champion? I think they're trending in that direction, that's for sure. But Hangman Page is as the man, chasing Jon Moxley. Once he wins the championship, how does business go then? Is it better? Is it worse? Just remember, they're going to be in London.
Yeah.
And so you know that Ospreay's going to want his rematch. Be careful now. You might get yourself a Swerve Strickland or Samoa Joe run as the champion. Short-lived.
Which I think is okay. Like, Hangman isn't hurt by stuff like that. Part of me still thinks Mox retains in Dallas, and they're waiting for Darby. I hope I'm wrong, but part of me does still believe that. But you're telling these stories that are focused on the world title, but don't have all of Mox and the, Death Riders in your face. Like, it's the Hangman side, it's the Ospreay side. We get Swerve and Ospreay next week on free television as part of another 4-hour show. Like, there's a lot of other things going on that isn't just, oh yeah, here's the Death Riders again, telling with promos that don't make sense and the title that we don't see.
Yeah, let me just tell you, folks, about Brian Rowitz. Brian Rowitz wants to have AEW in the mud. You really want it. You want them to close the doors. You want to as my wife says in television, you want them to sunset the company. That's because there's no other reason why you'd say that unless you want AEW gone. Could you imagine the 19, 20, 21,000 people they're going to have in Dallas and Moxley wins the championship?
If it's not the main event, then you sort of sweep it under the rug, and Tony and Mercedes get to main event in Dallas.
You're out of your mind. Is tired of Moxley being champion. You go,
I agree.
That's okay. Retain. Oh my God.
Darby's down from Everest, and now they can go back to that booking.
Start from the bottom of Everest. Seriously, you've been away for so you go back down. The old school, he's out of the top 10 because he hasn't wrestled in a month. So that's what it is. He's
That's
out
good.
of the top 10. Well, I'm just telling you. Now he's got to dig his way back, climb his way back up again to, like Osprey's championship.
Can they use the Price is Right graphic of like the yodeler going up the mountain?
Yes, that's exactly right. And I meant Okada's championship. He could be able to climb up to Okada's championship or something like that. Because well, you talk about ships that sailed before Everest. We thought that he'd be the new champion.
Yes, but he had other things to do.
That's his choice. That might have been written in stone. Like, hey, you know what, Moxley here, you're going to win the championship. And I know we talked about this too. Like when he had an opportunity to win the championship against Moxley and didn't work out, it fell short. So he goes to the bottom, and Hangman's the guy because more and more you see him. Like we saw him on Wednesday. Brian is that promo man is just strong, and like the people are behind him.